Hello, everybody. Hi, Philip. Welcome back. Well, today we start a new session with no big news. That's something I'm missing. It's so boring a little bit. Even if we are getting some big news related to politicians and some analysts and experts. Oh, I have an echo again. Why? Okay. Okay, that's my browser actually. But I'm fine. Good evening, Red Viper. Um, Nice to see you here, community. And nice that you are actually, yeah, just starting my stream every time when I'm on. That's beautiful feedback. And I'm still preparing something for today because I just wanted to show you some of the websites and platforms that I'm using to get all my information to have a better feeling of what's happening in the market. It's obvious not the only data that's necessary to to have all information that you need, but that's a good beginning. I'm going actually to provide um, all these links on YouTube and Twitch afterwards, if that's possible. But I think it should be. So let me check. Okay, I don't need this one. We should start with our current market situation. Let us begin today's topic as last time. That's market situation based on Bitcoin's moves from today. Um, Someone just let me a comment. I think that was on YouTube asking a chart for XRP and for each bar, I think. I will start as soon as we are done with our whatever it is. I'm still convinced that we are on track with Wyckoff's redistribution pattern or schematic. When we are done with that here, when we are pumping or dumping whatever it's going to happen in the next few hours or days, I will start to bring some coin informations to the stream as well. Not only just presenting some new projects, that's where I spend some time now, but that's a full-time job. I was explaining to a follower that we had almost 5,000 crypto projects listed on CoinMarketCap in December, and now we have almost 10,000. So it's a full-time job just to check all this and to see their relation, to check their white papers, their roadmaps. But it's funny. I like that. Uh, Nevertheless, I need a second inspo or a third one actually for all the job. But I'm going to bring all this stuff to the streams as well because we need to think about to create a very good portfolio that will give us a big gain in the next years. All what we are doing now, it's just a preparation. And if we are shifting to a bear market now, then we should see this as an opportunity to buy all the dips necessary to have a very strong portfolio and then to chill the next years. That should be the project and our goal. Even I'm not the chilly guy. I mean, I will chill maybe in a couple of years, but I'm too motivated to chill. So even if I will have a nice portfolio, even then I will start to buy and sell some coins and to research and to analyze some projects. But let us start with our market situation. By the way, your questions, that's another topic, and we have one question that's related to the possible US dollar crash that could happen. Russia initiated such a discussion with their announcement they are going, or they did already, I don't know actually, but they want to dump all their US dollar reserves to the market. And yes, I mean, that's possible. That's something I was thinking about in the last years, because the US dollar is challenging in a global market with more challenges actually from year to year even more. And the question is what kind of impact could have this US dollar crash, for example, for the crypto market in general. But we know that we have some events on the table. The new bill that the Biden administration is going to place with $6 trillion US dollars they want to spread in the market. Even if we know that 70-80% of all that money is uproad, but doesn't matter. We will talk about that. So let us start. God, I forgot just to switch the screen. Today's topic, market situation and your questions. That's what I'm a noob with all this streaming stuff. Sorry for that, but I'm learning. So we go over now to our market situation. We started a great day pumping. I wouldn't say I have predicted that in the last days. Even I did, but it is part of what we can see, and I know that's now a lot of information. I will just hide all the information. But we flipped here from a downtrend to an uptrend, and we formed here something like a sideways run, and from here it flipped again, and now it's going up. That's part of the Wyckoff schematic. It's still on track. And that's why I said that I'm expecting to reach the 40K. Okay, we are here now, so that would be the 40K. If I'm Einheit all this information and start just to hide here some. We don't need that. Okay, perfect. Then it's obvious for me if we keep going up, we will retest that. I'm feeling that now the market is struggling, and I tweeted a chart today I will show you that if some of you just are not following me or missed that. Let me check. Yes, here, that's the picture. Perfect. Go over, go, yeah. Okay. And that's a big coincidence. And that happens again. Every time in the last few weeks, when we reached our new bottom, after we had this 2 week dump phase, every time when we are close to be oversold or overbought, they flipped every time. Well, I mean, what does that mean? What does that mean when Bitcoin or an asset is going to be oversold or overbought? For me, it means it's a confirmation we are going up. No way can stop that, because many people are waiting exactly to get there. So if you want to control something, you are going to give over partly of your control to a stream, or just to people waiting for a sign. That's a sign, actually. And is that coincidence that every time when we are reaching some sign, they are flipping? What does that mean, flipping? Are they working against of the trend that they started before? No, that means they are starting. Well, in that case here, you can see that, but it's almost every time happens. They are starting to work again, so the volume is going to increase, and then something like a sucker. So something, it falls. No volume is increasing anymore. The volume is decreasing dramatically then, and that happens every time. Well, here not that big, but okay, it went up here. It was very close to be overbought, and then they stopped, and then it's falling again, and that's happening always, all the time. Boom! It's like a wave. It goes up, then down. Well, I don't know what happened here, but it seems that was here much more the trendsetter fight, go or down, up or down, and we have that yesterday again and today again. So they started to work against, to fight, so they can prevent to have a situation that's not, well, maybe not able to control anymore, because a lot of traders are waiting for that information. I just need a moment here. Okay. And that's something that I noticed since few days, or since we reached our new bottom here. And that's always the same, because it's easier for me as well to predict something. Every time when they are close to be in that zone, they flip it. That happened again. Okay, so we started here. It was very close, and in my opinion, I was very sure we are going to generate an overbought situation to reach 40K today, because tomorrow we have the liquidation of some future contracts, as you know. Tomorrow is July 4th. But as I also mentioned different times, is Wyckoff is not a pattern. That's a schematic. It's explaining you actually the reaction of market actors related to demand and supply. And it doesn't matter if we are reaching the 40K or not. It should be in the 40K, but at the moment we are struggling here. So it's going to retest again, but as you see that at the moment we don't have enough trading volume to retest it. They don't want to retest it. So it's still for me a little bit, I'm waiting for the next steps, and maybe tonight something will happen if it goes up or they start to dump it. But I would say we need to cross this zone here, and we need to retest actually the 40.5 or actually the 40. We will see. But everything what's happening is what Wyckoff describes in his redistribution phase. It's very interesting, and in that case very accurate. So we will see what is going to happen in the next few hours, or maybe till tomorrow. I'm expecting that we will dump tomorrow because the sell pressure will increase. We have a sell pressure right now, and that's what is happening right now here, why we are not doing any progress up. But the sell pressure in ratio to the buy pressure is 47 to 53. That's not a big gap. So also not a big gap to let it dump, and more a gap that it's fighting a little bit, but it seems the buy mood is not really there, and the sell mood is actually also not there. For me, it's sad because I thought really we can talk about this chapter, and we are somewhere here, but that's happening all the days when I predicted we will be at 40K tomorrow. Something happened, and yeah, we missed it. So we have to see. Nevertheless, we can go and check some other informations related to what will happen tomorrow with the future liquidations, because some of you also asked me, I think that was you, Philip. I'm not really. Sometimes you have different usernames on Twitter than here on Twitch or YouTube. But you asked me, or someone asked me about the ratio. How do you know that we have more longs than shorts? Well, first of all, for me that's simple to know, because this uptrend, it's not in favor of any shorts, and mostly it will liquidate some shorts than any longs. If we take a look, we can see here, for example, that's the price chart of Bitcoin, and we have here the open interest. Really, it's looking great. And I was surprised a little bit before I started the stream. I started to check some data, and I was surprised that it seems many people start to notice that to play some futures right now could be very risky. And they are absolutely right. So for me, and that's also on Viewbase, Bitfinex is one of the future contract providers. It's just an orientation. That's something like a trend. It's not showing you a whole picture. That's sad, because I didn't find any platform yet that can show me all the longs placed or all the shorts position placed on their exchange. But Bitfinex is one of the platforms that has I would say it's a factor when some liquidations are happening. And if you take just the amounts of the different long and short positions, if you see, for example, we have here BTC USD, so US dollar directly, we have here 43,500 BTC as long positions. And we have only at the counterpart 1,193 Bitcoins on the short position. It doesn't mean that this kind of positions are not perpetual, so without an expiring date. But doesn't matter. If we start to dump, they will start to liquidate some of this 43,000 because people need to add more money to prevent to get liquidated. And that's, I mean, related to some information that we are getting from the medias, and some people start now to spread some opinions like the bull run is over, or I would say some skeptical opinions, and I think that's the right way, because just to hype and to moon, that's not the solution. That can bring us much more problems than to fix anything. And on the other side, we have on Bitcoin USDT 1,800 Bitcoin waiting as long position and 65 Bitcoin on short position. So we have almost here, if we take the long and short ratio, we have as 97, almost, let us say 95% of long ratio. 95%. It's not a big difference to what we had 3 weeks ago. And we know the consequences that they had. And so if people are telling me that's not going to happen again, I don't know. I think that's a very realistic scenario that could happen again. They just need to trigger a dump. That's what happened in the past as well. Unfortunately, contract market cap, and I like this platform, but it's showing a lot of information. First of all, our derivative 24 hours volume is decreasing. It's almost the same like the spot volume. That's the first time since weeks before we started actually the dump, and even before, because even if when we started the bull run in December, many people started then to initiate and to play some margin products and some leverage products, and so this number was very high. I mean, I remember just 2 weeks ago or something, I had some pictures and screenshots I tweeted. It was double. It was something like 80 billion. Because, yeah, Philip, sorry for all the Twitch people there. Philip is asking, how come this position aren't reflected in funding rates? I mean, even with an 8 hours delay. No, it's not the 8 hours delay. It's an 8 hours volume. It's just covering everything that's happening in 8 hours. But if I have placed, for example, a contract 3 days ago, it's not covering anymore in their statistic. And that's the problem. You can check every day and every 8 hours what's the trend of the market. But I didn't find any information that shows me actually a whole picture of their ratio on their exchanges related to the long or short positions. Not yet. Maybe I will keep searching for such a platform, but At the moment, I just use the view base Bitfinex margin total long and short positions, unfortunately. So that's why I told to you the 8 hours. It's um, a good figure to know the trend, the current trend, but it's not telling you about if someone is adding since 3 days money in his short position and he is still active, because he is a potential risk in case that we are pumping. He can liquidate or liquidate his position because he is not able to add more money there. And more money, to add more money, increase the sell pressure or the buy pressure. It depends if it's long or short at the same time, because the margin is so big. If you have a big margin, of course, it depends. And another thing that was wondering, and that explains, Philip, as well, because all these funding rates look so low, is because the volume in general just decreased a lot. I don't know if you guys remember that I was claiming that Binance future or derivatives volume within 24 hours was too high. We had actually $140 billion involved in 24 hours. And now we are, even if it's increasing again, but now we are coming back to the usual 50 billion. That's a number, it's huge, no doubt, but that's something where I say that's reasonable. That's okay. That's not going to be a big risk for us for the next dump. But it's increasing again. And even here we just see 64 billion volume. It's not telling us, are these positions still active? Maybe they have got liquidated already. Are there long or shorts, options or futures? We don't know that. So you need to pick all this data and this information to try to combine all together to have a feeling what's happening there. If we take a Bitfinex, where's Bitfinex here? It doesn't appear. Bitfinex, yeah, it's here. I mean, 132 million compared to 64 billion. That's peanuts. Yeah, and the same we can see, and that was actually something very interesting. Since our big dump, the market just came down. That's something that I explained, I think, Tuesday in my streaming. We had really big liquidations that were just big dimensions, billions, 1 billion shorts, 7.5 billion longs. That was actually when we reached the 29 or 30K. That was the end of the big dump phase. Even here we had almost 600 million liquidated on short side and almost 900 million on long, but that decreased. Of course, we had here this uptrend, but even there it was very balanced. And only here, that was May 27th, where we had more long liquidations than short liquidations. But since then, it's very balanced. If I take a look, we have here since yesterday, 150 million shorts liquidations to 150 million longs. That's perfect. So at the moment, I'm not expecting something big in related that they could trigger something that let us dump like we had in the last 2 weeks, where we make maybe 6,000 price fall in one day or 4,000. And you remember I told you guys that I think they will flip and they will constantly use a downtrend before we start something like a crash scenario here. We will start something what happens here or here. That looks much more, or this of course, that looks much more to a crash scenario than this here. It's much more dynamic. The pace is much higher here, like here as well. That's necessary if you want to spread some fear. If you want to just, if you don't want to prevent that all the people start to sell their bags. Okay? So if you want their bags, if you want their assets, you increase the pace. This year is looking very controlled. That's something where I say that looks actually very organic. And that's what's happening here as well. In my opinion, that's what we will make here as well. We will flip. It will start to make, to generate a downtrend, but we will retest it. We will retest our support at 33.5 or 33, maybe 32.5. We will have to check, but in my opinion, we will retest our support, and then they will start to increase the pace, to generate the fear, to generate the sell climax. That's the goal, right? So that's where I think with a downtrend, nobody and many will still keep convincing that we will go up. They will keep placing longs, and that's their goal. The biggest impact with the lowest energy, and that in that case that means just with less tokens, or the tokens you have, of course. So if you don't want to sell them, if you want to sell them, you can do that. The only problem is if you sell a lot of tokens at the same time and your sell pressure is big, and you actually they start with a low volume. So low volumes are very dangerous for us, because low volumes, that means something will happen soon. It can go up, it can go down. We don't need that. People, they say low volume means bullish. That's not true. In my opinion, that's nonsense. Low volume just mean that you can trigger a big impact with less assets, with less tokens. And that's the best case. I would do that. If I would have 1,000 Bitcoin and I want to dump the market, that's what I would do. I would split my 1,000 Bitcoins in 3 groups, and as soon as the trading volume is very low, I will drop one at once. This one will kick my ass, because of course when I have a less sell resistance, I will drop my Bitcoins, and the average price of my Bitcoins will be much less than if I have a sell resistance, right? Because they are absorbing my Bitcoins. So they are just triggering something. That's what I try to explain you guys. When we have a low volume, that's very risky in both sides. So I would never ever place my shorts or longs in a low volume because I know something is going to happen. I prefer a high volume where I see we have actually a trend, a positive or negative trend, an up bullish trend or a bearish trend, because then I know, hi Aditya, because then I know that we have a fundament behind that. We have a lot of people absorbing these bitcoins and we can go up. That's bullish. It's not bullish like what we are doing right now, or bearish. We are right now falling with a very low volume. That's not bearish. So that's something you should have in mind. And that's actually what also Wyckoff said. All these fight zones, when you have a high trading volume, is explaining you what's happening in the market. And it's not to know where the line, where the resistance or support is. It's much more to know what's happening when the trading volume is increasing. Like he said in his schematic, then from here the trading volume will decrease, but then it will increase again, and that's happening. That thing happened here. Well, not that high, but here, and now again here. So something is happening here. If you take a look here, for example, to the candles, you see that was a fight. That sounds dramatic if I say that was a fight, but I like that. So if you see that here, right? Here as well, we had here an increasing volume. Take a look to the candles. And that's every time when you have, I just did an EMA 2000 here to have a stable line for an average volume of Bitcoin, and that's something like 7,000 for in my 2 hours view. And everything that's going up the gap, it's showing me that something is happening. That's a sign for me, wow, okay. So we are talking now, or we are negotiating, are we going up or down? And that's why I said yesterday it's looking too accurate for me. Because it's obvious these guys, or whoever it is, they want to go up, but they don't want to force a big pump. So it's not bullish, but it's not bearish. It's a plan. And that's the difference. Okay, so have a plan, stick to it, and you will be successful. Yeah, and that should happen again, so hopefully we will go up to the 40s. Now let us go back again to the future liquidations, because they will have a big role tomorrow and the next few weeks. As you know, tomorrow we will have the first liquidations because some contracts will expire. I heard something like 2 billion options too. So it's going to be a little challenge. 11th again and 25th. And 25th is going to be the, for me, most important one, because also in March and 25th, that was the biggest one. Let me check that I'm right and not wrong. 25th. So here, that's starting in the night sometimes. I have another time zone here. But if you take a look, I mean, they absorbed a little, well, a little. It starts before, as I told you last time, many people just want to prevent the uncontrolled liquidation. And they start to find the best exit point to close their contracts before, so that can start few days before. But here you can see also because of the candles that was 18th. If we take a look to the 11th actually was an uptrend. We had here just a little gap, a little fight. But at the same time, the 25th, and why is 25th so important for me? That's Binance. And Binance is the biggest exchange providing the biggest future contracts and the whole crypto market. I don't know if FTX is that big already. Can imagine that, but I didn't find any information about FTX and the volume. I didn't look for that as well. And that's why I say the 25th is going to be also a big challenge for Bitcoin. So 25th, that is here. That's funny because I just tried to illustrate a little bit what should come next. That would be the accumulation phase of Wyckoff, and the 25th will be the last phase of the accumulation schematic, where everyone is just frustrated, demotivated, and it's starting to sell because he thinks the market is going to crash. I mean, it's just a quite dirty illustration. It doesn't say anything, but that's a scenario I could imagine. And for the 4th, that could be make this sell pressures mentioned 11th, maybe not that much, but the 25th is going to be a challenge. So let us go back again. Byte, also a very good platform showing you a lot of different informations, even also grayscale informations, very interested. Order books for different pairs as well is okay. I'm taking a look directly to the Binance one because Binance is the biggest exchange and also generating the most spot volume. If I go here to the Binance top trader accounts, long shorts ratio, or here to the positions, it looks very green. And that's what's happening. And that's where I said, even if we are not generating the same volume that we generated just before our dumps, but it's enough. It's enough to trigger. And the problem is, we have here almost 60% to 40%, 60% long accounts to 40% short accounts in 24 hours. And that's a good timetable because that's showing me what's happening. So since 21st, we are accumulating long futures on Binance. If we take here, if we go here, the 20th, but let us say the 21st, it went up one strong to the longs, but since then, so here we have almost 53 to 54% long positions to 46, 47% short positions. And we have liquidated a lot of short positions in the last couple of days. And for all those they are watching now the stream but are not related to me on Twitter, for example, as I said, these ratio of short and long positions are very important for us. That's like a car accident. If you have an accident with an airbag, if you don't have any airbag active, the impact of the accident will be much higher than with airbag. Our shorts are exactly these airbags, because in the moment when the people are starting to close their positions and buy or sell, but in the short position to buy a Bitcoin to a lower price, is increasing automatically a, a buy pressure. So um, it's decreasing the dump, and that's something I really hope that they are not dumping like we did in the last few weeks, because even if we have now less volume, but we have much more long positions. And that could be a big challenge as well. So Bybit is a very interesting platform that shows you a lot of information, even also the funding rates, but as told Philip, it's just for a little time range and not for days or weeks or months. So let us see here, that's the Cryptometer.io, also a very interesting website, offering and providing a lot of different informations about liquidations, for example, which kind of exchanges are providing more liquidations. But I like this market pressure indicator, the current market trend, because it's very accurate. That's what I noticed. So in the last few weeks, we were very bearish, and now we are in a trading zone, and that's not only taking a Bitcoin, it's taking the whole crypto market. I have to say, if I take a look to the altcoins, they are making great progress. Actually, we are coming back to the levels we had before we started to dump. Well, it's not XRP right now. It's not really performing that good, but Seller Network, it's almost at 4.7 cents. It was 6 or a little bit higher, but ADA with 1.83, Coty with 0.26. They are making a good development and progress in the last few days. And you see that people are in trading mood, but mainly in altcoins. If we go now to the USDT, so to the Tether transfer volume, that decreased a little bit, but that's not the big deal, actually. So as long as we are hear something, it seems they withdraw more money than we have an inflow. It shows here 86 millions. That's not the point. That's really nothing where I would, have to analyze longer. Red Viper is asking Thor about greed and fear index. That's okay, but it's as I remember related only for Bitcoin, right? It's not showing the whole crypto market. I use this one if I want to know much more, what is the trend of the market actors. If they are very bullish, I know doesn't matter what you buy, it will go up. If it's bearish, the opposite. But in that case, it's showing me it's in trading zone. You can buy, you can sell. Will have such a volatility, and that's fine. You have to be a little careful, of course, but that's good. Also, the bar showing you right now we have much more selling pressure of 53%, so a downtrend. If I take a look, I see everywhere in my screens now red candles, the last one. So I like this indicator here. Also here it shows you very well what's happening. Well, as expected, yeah, we have left the green area at Bitcoin. So all the people that was in big belief and just thinking and mooning all the time, that calmed down a little bit, and we are now in a situation where when an analyst, sorry, when an analyst just say that we are going to shift to a bear market, that's nothing where I say that's nonsense or that's not realistic. That can happen because we had these big dumps in the last weeks, and even then all the people was in very good mood. I remember, and maybe you remembered when I just mentioned that. I don't get why the people are so mooning and hyping, still hyping Bitcoin, when it was obvious that we were dumping after dumping after dumping to another low level. And well, I mean that we reached here the last big dump, and the people are now in another situation, but still where I say we don't feel any fear. And if we take a look, I mean fear, that means in that way we have a long way to walk to fear. Okay, so um, if we dump, even if we dump to the next level, what should can I read here? How much? 40, 20, so that should be 30K, but we went to 30K. That looks a little bit strange. I don't know. But if we are living the 40s and even I think the 30s, so more to the 20s, people will start to have some fear. It's not the capitulation, because that seems to be then much, yeah, less, something like a, a below of 20K even. I don't think we will be below of 20K. Maybe just if that happens, what I mentioned once, that we are dumping to 20K because we have the biggest support there generated by 2017. If we reach this bottom, then many people will capitulate. That's for sure. That's going to happen. So also here, Glassnode, very interesting information that's showing us. But you have to subscribe that if you want daily data. Otherwise, it's not showing you the first or the last 2 weeks, I guess. Bitcoin, the Bitcoin net transfer volume from 2 exchanges, all exchanges, looks great. And that means that much more Bitcoin was bought in the last days and just went to the exchanges instead of withdrawn there or actually sell them. So we had here the peak. That was when we started the big pump. That was May 17th. And my favorite indicator to see if we are shifting to a bear market, that's the A-Sopper indicator. So everything that is below the scale of 1, it's showing that we are very bullish. Or we are bullish. We are in a bull market. Even if we fall below 1, as we did here, but we are flipping again, That's also okay. We can take a look here. You can see um, we had some time where it was very mm, bearish, and then we had some time we were very bullish, and that's happening always. So even here, if we are going down to yeah 0.8, that's really bearish, and it's very difficult to flip again and to go up. That's a process that needs time because the market actors just capitulated. They don't trust the market anymore. They don't believe that the market will calm down and go up again. That's where they say the suckers rally is starting. That's part of the accumulation schematic of Wyckoff, where um, people don't believe that's going to be a rally. And that's actually when they really start. So what's happening right now is, we take a look here. We went down, we recuperate a little bit of the A-stopper, but I think we will go down again. So that is going to make something like this here. I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if I can make this bigger. Yeah. So something like here, we went down, then it went up, it flipped up, then it went down, strong down, it went up again. And but at the same moment, when we start to be above, then the bear market is coming for sure. So we need to check, and I'm doing that every day. I'm checking what's happening in the market and what's going on. So at the moment, everything looks very well. I don't know if we can check. Yeah, for example, here um, we went. I mean, it's flipping, but you see, it's just reaching the one before it flips again to below the one, and that's the big indicator that no bullish signals are really coming to the market. Well, then I have crypto, quant, but unfortunately, yeah, I don't have any subscription there. But it's also very interesting, all the information you can get there about short liquidations and different exchanges as well, to see the big impact and from which exchanges the impact is coming from. So even if it's for free, I think you have the daily view. You don't have the hour view, or maybe for some you have them. No, you have that. I don't have any subscription here, but it does work. So for every one of you, just check these charts. They are very interesting. And the last time someone asked me, how did I know that just 3 or 4 holders hold 3% or 4% of all bitcoins? That's a list. That's the bitinfocharts.com, top 100 richest Bitcoin addresses. And if you take a look here, we just have 4 addresses that have 100,000 to 1 million Bitcoins. Accumulated, that means 688,000 Bitcoins. Almost $26 billion, or 3.68% of all circulating Bitcoins. That's a lot for just 4 hands. And that's my problem with Bitcoin. I mean, not only with Bitcoin. Okay, so as I try to explain, I like Bitcoin, and I will buy Bitcoin. as well. But the problem is Bitcoin as a dominator has a big role in the whole crypto market, and that's not fair for all these strong projects out there depending on one asset like Bitcoin. Philip just asking me, and maybe exchange wallets? What do you mean with exchange wallets? For me, it doesn't matter. Of course, I think so. Not only, but yes. But that's not the point. It's the point that 82 other wallets have 11%. So if we start to accumulate, it's something many people are don't like the idea that 1% of the whole humanity has 99% of the whole money. That's happening at Bitcoin. And that's where I just say, I don't know if that's exactly the best asset to control or to have that big role in such a market like the crypto market with almost 10,000 projects there. That's the only thing. But yeah, I think that's a trend. I mean, it doesn't matter if it's Bitcoin or not. Yeah, so, but for me, that's a pain because I'm an altcoiner. I love altcoins. I love almost every project there, and I know I'm not going to mention all my lovely coins, but uh, they have such strong projects behind. It's not fair that their price will be controlled a little bit related to Bitcoin or to another, maybe to another one project uh, right there. It's a little bit pain for me, but that's the way. Doesn't matter. As said, I'm not against Bitcoin because some people ask me if I'm against Bitcoin. No, I'm not. I mean, I will buy some Bitcoin, but the entry price wasn't 60K, and for me the entry price is not 40K. Even 30K is not my entry price. I needed just maybe for less 20K. If I can get some Bitcoins for 90K, I will celebrate that. Even if I know and I'm convinced that Ethereum will flip Bitcoin in 1 year, I will buy more Ethereum. And also here I have a problem because Ethereum, it's a wonderful project and many awesome projects are based on Ethereum, but related to DeFi, I think BNB is much better. It's just cheaper related to the transaction fees, and from the transaction speed we don't need to talk about. But even them, I know that many big investors are behind of Ethereum, and they started to accumulate Ethereum before we started. Oh, well, not before, but I can tell you when they started to accumulate Ethereum. That was actually here, April 25th and March 25th. Because I noticed some news related to big companies and some market actors, well-known market actors, that started to buy Ethereum. And that's for me a sign that some of them jumped out from Bitcoin and started to invest that money in Ethereum. Even they knew what's going to happen. They didn't jump out to Bitcoin because they knew Bitcoin is going to dump. We know the same impact does that have to the altcoins as well, but In that case, that was a strategy thing. They changed their strategy. I don't know if they knew that something is going to come because the energy consumption of Bitcoin or something related that we miss. I don't know actually. That will show us the future in the next few weeks or months. But I'm still convinced that Bitcoin will not disappear. Some people tell that. I don't think that Bitcoin is going to disappear. Bitcoin is part of the crypto market. Bitcoin is the father of the crypto market. It shouldn't disappear, but maybe the role of Bitcoin in the crypto market will change. That's the only thing. Steve Fall just says that's true, but you know that's even worse for every alts, right? What you mean? What's even worse for every altcoins? Because now we can switch now to the questions. And interesting what's happening at Bitcoin right now. We had a confirmed uptrend, and now it's switching to a confirmed downtrend. Hmm. Otherwise, I will start to talk about the USD possible crash and about what Russia announced and how that could have an impact. Hi, Sifu, welcome back. So, Steve, if you want to explain a little bit what you are what you want to ask, because I don't get your question right, I guess. Well, I'm not sure why that should be worse for every alts. Why should that? I mean, we are talking about 1.5 trillion US dollars. No, Steve. Okay, then that was a misunderstanding. That's the reality. That's not related to crypto. That's related to everything. I mean, 1% of the richest person in Germany, uh, or better, 1% of all Germans in Germany have the most money. And I think that that's an unusual average in the world, maybe 2% or 3%. I don't know now the exactly numbers, but that's what many people claim and say, well, why just 3 people, 4 people should have that power to decide a lot of things? And that's exactly happening to to the crypto market as well. And I think the crypto market should be a change. And at Bitcoin, I mean, with a total supply of 21 million coins, even it's so expensive, even token. But I think that's not fair if we are talking about 1.5 trillion US dollars total cap in crypto, and Bitcoin has almost 600 billion right now. So all other crypto coins has 900 billion and are hitting the trillion again, but Bitcoin is dominating actually 60% of the remaining market, and that for me that's, yeah, it's maybe logical in sense that that's how it works, but it's not fair when I just take a look to Cardano or to Coti, and I know they are making big progress, but just because Bitcoin is dumping, everything is dumping. And I say, wow, why? Well, what's happening there? It doesn't make sense for me. But that's my opinion. I mean, Oh, right. I didn't know that. Thanks, Steve. Okay, Steve is explaining, and I didn't know that. In Glassnode, you can see the data. For alts, 1% are owning 90% of the supply of each alts, Ethereum, ADA, etc. Okay, that's great. I have to take a look to that. If that's the case, and I guess that's the case, that's pain as well. I mean, pain in that case, pain, of course, for the holders. I can imagine that mainly this 1% that are owning 90% of the supply, hopefully, are the developers and providers of these coins. I'm not sure if that's the same with Bitcoin. Thomas Mothers is asking me, what kind of power do these rich people have? They do not control the network. I will see you how you work with your network without electricity. If you want to be independent, like in the US happened, and some other parts in Europe as well, and you say, I'm going to build some solar panels to be independent, to be really independent, also related to electricity, and then a governor is bringing you a new law that's forbidding you to create your own infrastructure because some people with power say that's not a good idea. They are controlling your network then. That's a big pain because I'm starting also to think of a strategy how to store my coins safe, even if we will have a blackout, not just for 2 days or 3 days. That's something we prevented in Europe just a few months ago, but that's nothing we maybe can prevent in the future as well. I'm not saying that we can have a blackout that takes maybe a month, hopefully not, because otherwise then we will have other problems than our coins. But they can control your network related because you need the electricity to let operate your PCs and your network as well. So that could happen, and that's something you should have in mind as well. That's not I'm not trying to spread some conspiracy or something, but that's something that could happen. Not only because some people want that happens, but also because, well, I mean, we have in Europe, we have a program that calls Critis. That's a program they started to keep safe all important and critical infrastructures, and they did it close before we have started COVID-19. That was a coincidence, I guess. But that's something where I say, behind they are working and some steps to make something safe, but they are not investing the money that they should need to invest to make the infrastructure safe for everyone. Red Viper is asking now, I think in traditional way price decrease of Ethereum Bitcoin should also affect all eco projects, as many of them hold and fund the company with selling ETH and BTC. Well, yes. I mean, we will see what's going to happen because, as I mentioned different times, this year, the end of this year, but the beginning of next year will be key for all of us. not only because of some um, laws or some steps that the US administration will make, but because I think the transition, what I say, transition of our economy will start. Okay? And all these programs behind, like Critis, um, will be active, and we will see what's happening. It's too early to talk about that, but we will need some time, and we will see what's happening also with Bitcoin and with the crypto market. For me, the crypto market is absolutely the future, and everything also in the transition of our economy will be related to the crypto market. So when I say I'm very proud to be part of it, because we, yeah, not the big mass didn't find the crypto market yet. They will find the crypto market. We will have digital currencies in just a year or two as maximum, and people will start, and they will force them to work actually with digital currencies. So the step just to invest their money then in cryptos will be very easy for them. That's something that I'm still missing. So a mass adoption just works when the commerce and with the industry are pushing these mass adoptions. They are starting right now, but I think that's going to happen. But meanwhile, as any transition, everything can happen, and we need to wait. Thomas murders mothers. I'm sorry if I'm spelling your surname just wrong. When crypto is established, there's no sense in holding. They will spend. In regards to power, crypto is different. You will need to shut down the internet. Yeah, and that's exactly the point. That's exactly the point. I mean, they are showing that they can, if they want, they have everything to to close everything. I mean, even if Biden is saying he is going to hunt every tax fraud actors in the crypto market to identify them and to share the information with other nations and to start something. I mean, that could be the beginning. I mean, that have two sides. The good side, that's part of the mass adoption. The second side is they start to control you. And that's not the nature of crypto. That's not actually the nature and the beginning, the philosophy behind Bitcoin, for example. But that's happening. And that will happen. Red Viper, OBV, that's not the case, but makes also sense. Okay, I don't get now. I don't get your answer, but maybe because I'm switching. I'm trying to read your questions and then to reply to them. Thomas just is commenting, blackout will happen, getting more and more unstable, but crypto will be a minor problem then. I really hope that's going to be the case. I still think that to prevent any such blackouts, and a blackout, I mean, that's off topic right now, but a blackout, it's not going to be a challenge related to crypto, but to everything. And so if we will have a blackout of 2 3 days, nobody should care about that. And then that's time to spend with your family and maybe just go outside or meet your friends or whatever and just, to relax a bit. But if that takes more time and if then they are minimizing or okay, what's that? I'm wondering right now, I'm looking my stream live and someone, what the hell is that, please? What's happening here? Sorry guys, but I'm lit. Okay. Oh God. It switched to my old stream. And I was wondering who just opened a browser and is just introducing something there. Okay. I'm fine now. Um so yeah, we will see. We will see. It's nothing that's off topic. I don't want to make a big topic of that now in my stream about blackouts. But you should have that in mind. It's if you can buy some hardware and to have the opportunity just to sometimes just to yeah, store your wallet there. I think that that's a good step. That's I'm going to do that just in case. Um, okay, yeah. Uh, Thanks, Steve. He just comment again about the Glassnode Ethereum, the percent of supply held by top 1% addresses. I will take a look myself to this information. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I really Glassnode has so much information, um, and sometimes I'm not taking a look to all information they provide. But yeah, I will take a look. I think 1%, or actually the big mass of Ethereum tokens is holding by Ethereum holders or Ethereum owners, actually, I think, by the developers and the company, I guess, like Ripple, maybe XRP, but I don't know. I have to check that before I can make such a comment. So yeah, that's it. So I'm sorry if I'm just cutting the blackout topic, but I will just check some information um, about that, some articles. What happened, for example, just in Europe few months ago? That was a very critical point, and in such cases, it's possible that your providers are not providing any internet anymore to restart the whole network. That means all infrastructure critical companies, banks, financial institutes, um, and different infrastructure points, um, rail, airports, and so on and so forth, anything that's important that will have priority. So in such case that we have a blackout doesn't mean that um, they don't have access to the network for weeks, but that could mean that we don't have any access to the network for weeks. That could happen. That's something we should have in mind. And if you really are interested in such information as well, I can prepare next time some facts to show you what's behind. That's not a big a secret. That's something it makes also sense. Okay, to just to have a structure, an agenda, and yeah, step by step to open the network again for everyone, but you have to prioritize before. So yeah, we are streaming now 1 hour and 40 minutes now. We actually have remaining 20 minutes. If you have some questions also about the chart, about Bitcoin, what's happening there. Oh, the moon, Carl is writing again. I like this guy. Bitcoin will change the whole world. Okay, yesterday it was your life, but today is the whole world. Well, okay, I'm fine with that. So if you don't have any other questions, oh yeah, Red Viper. Someone said it will that crypto industry shouldn't try to force Wall Street, etc., to transit into crypto, but rather focus to develop a better system, like electric light replacement the candles. Um, I don't think that crypto needs to change or to force Wall Street to transit into crypto, because Wall Street is already in crypto. Maybe not in that volume and dimension, because as I mentioned just a week or 2 weeks ago, um, to get a risk-free environment, you need a framework, and that's why I'm celebrating, even if it's pain at the same time. It hurts in my wallet when I read some announcement from the US government, for example, that they want just to get all informations from the exchanges. I mean, I'm asking myself how they want to, yeah, just do that, for example, with some personal wallets like MetaMask. I mean, that's anonymous. Or does that mean that they will forbid MetaMask in the future, like they did with other systems in the past, not related to crypto, by the way? So a lot of questions that are behind, but if I'm celebrating that because it's part of the mass adoption, we need this kind of frameworks to attract the big money. And if we want the big money, and the big money means for us the big gain, that's one side. That's the beautiful side. But the second side is we need to play their rules. And their rules does mean that if the big money decide to be bearish because they want to sell high and to buy low, then that's the other part, and we have to play this kind of rules. Otherwise, we are not going to generate the big gain. Um, Red, no, Steve Fall is commenting. Since your view is that BTC will dump soon, are you still holding your bags, or you already went stable coins to buy cheaper? Well, first of all, I'm holding my bags. Yes, I'm holding my bags because that's much more related to my investor mode. When I say investor mode, that means I'm planning mid or long term. Okay, so if I have some bags and I bought them even cheaper than it was 4 weeks ago, but yeah, I missed the moment to sell them and to rebuy them, I don't care anymore. I hold them because I know it's just a question of time. In 6 months, they will make the gain that I want. They did that in the past as well. So in that case, I didn't miss to liquidate almost 60 to 70% of my bags of my portfolio when I noticed that the beer is coming. And so I invest, and that was actually not the smartest way. I invest all the money in DeFi instead of stable coins. Because, I mean, I could invest the money in stable coins and let it stake them or use them for farming. But I thought maybe DeFi is making a better performance when all spots are dumping, and that was wrong. So my situation right now is I'm holding my bags, I'm holding my my DeFi bags as well, and because if I'm going to sell them, that's crap. I'm going to make a big minus. So I'm not going to do that. BNB just dumped a lot, and I'm using mainly BNB pairs when I'm working related to DeFi. So in stable coins, it's not a big option for me. So I would use BOCOD, for example, but Tether is not going to be a big option for me. It's not. I'm not supporting guys that don't want to show what they are doing with the money, because for me that's too risky. That's the same like what I said before. If you want to have the big money, you need to make a clear framework to minimize your risk, and Tether is not doing that. So I'm out of the game then. So I'm not going to sell any bag anymore just because I know BTC will dump. I will use my fiat money to buy even more dips. That's my plan. And related to DeFi, I changed a little bit. I mean, also my DeFi strategy, it just changed in the last few weeks. So I have a lot of money in one DeFi platform and one DeFi app, but spreading and taking a look to almost safe DeFi projects with a high APR to generate more money, more BNBs or other different of coins. That's actually I'm what I'm doing with DeFi is not only to generate a passive income, it's much more generating or a passive investment, investing in other coins and accumulating them. But it doesn't make sense for me now to sell them. I could make that because they generated it just like for free, but I'm not going to do that. I'm just taking them, farming them, accumulating, and just buying more coins, more dips with my fiat money. And as soon as we start, then a new rally is where all these accumulated coins will, yeah, generate a big gain to my portfolio as well. Well, guys, so if you don't have any other questions, I mean, if you have other questions, if you miss something to ask me, just drop me a line on Twitter and I will take this question for the next stream. The next stream will be next Sunday. I'm offering a Saturday stream, but in German, in my native language. Maybe I could offer another one in Spanish. I don't know. Maybe I will do that. Because Spanish, I wouldn't say that's my native language, but I can speak Spanish better than English, I guess. Um, so yeah, which DeFi and farming do you recommend? Asks Steve. Well, DeFi is it's risky always. I mean crypto in general, but DeFi at mass because it's anonymous. You don't even know who is behind, and you have to check some facts before. So first of all, I take a look to the audit. Did they pass an audit? And if yes, I start to check a little bit. I mean, TechRate is the most common auditing agency. Um, And if you take a look to the document, it's very clear if these guys are doing well or not, if they have access to your money or don't, and so on and so forth. So the first thing what I do is to take a look to the APR and then to check how big is my risk to lose all the money. Panther is right now one of the platform, the DeFi app, where most of my money is. And I'm almost using, and right now because BNB is really cheap at the moment, I'm using mostly the local DeFi coin pair with BNB, not with a stable coin. That was actually that's something I missed to change my BNBs before we started to dump. I just really forgot it. I just really forgot it. I just forgot to switch them. But well, nevertheless, we will have some other dumps in a year or something, and then hopefully I will not forget that again. But is to switch my BNBs in BUSD and then to rechange them again when we are dumping to BNB. That's where you make 100% passively with DeFi. At the moment, Panther, BNB, Frankenstein, that's a good concept. I like Frankenstein. That's a new one, also audited with a high APR. It's right now generating me 3.5% per day. And they have a very interesting concept. They are providing DeFi on one platform, on BSC, on Binance Smart Chain, and based on Phantom at the same time. That's something I like very much. Panther did a different concept when they started to make their anti-whale, when they started to lock your liquidity, and unfortunately the coin dumped a lot, and that's why I started then to look around. I have partly my money on Frankenstein, on Panther, and Ape Rocket. Ape Rocket, first of all, related to Ape, I love Ape. Bananas are amazing, and it will follow actually Pancake. Hopefully, it was very close to follow it. It was Banana was, I think the all-time high was $8 before we started with the dump phase. I was accumulated a lot of Banana. I like this project, Ape Rocket, and that's something. Then it's almost a new project. You are able there to farm liquidity pool tokens, BNB Banana, and that was attracting me a lot with an APR of 1,000. I think that's now 700. Nevertheless, that's a lot. And yeah, so that was actually amazing, and I spent some money there as well. Steve, thank you very much for your questions actually, because I think if I can reply and I have an answer, I appreciate some questions, because we are sharing our knowledge together, and that's actually my goal. I want, that's why I'm doing that here. I'm not doing that because of followers or because I want to make some money with any streams. I don't care if 20 persons are watching my stream or 500. I just want to share knowledge with you guys. I'm learning a lot with your comments, with your questions, with information that you are providing, and that's actually what I'm mentioning when I'm talking about community spirit. I like that, and that's exactly where I say success together or not. So, Thomas, thanks for addressing all these questions and for your insights. Have a good night. I'm from Germany too. Oh, das ist super. Dann wünsche ich dir natürlich auch, Thomas. Und wie du schon weißt, am Samstag biete ich auch nochmal speziell auf Deutsch ein Streaming, um nochmal Krypto an allen zu adressieren. Also kannst gerne auch wieder dabei sein. So, that was a little switch to German. Muchas gracias a todos. Espero veros dentro de poco otra vez. Und yeah, thank you very much for watching, guys. I appreciate that a lot. Every one of you, thanks for being in this community and community spirit. And yeah, hopefully we will see us again next Sunday from 6 p.m. till 8 p.m. UTC again. Thanks. Have a nice day. And don't forget, don't let you guide by fear. That's absolutely important. It doesn't matter what's going to happen if we will dump just $5,000 in one day. Don't let you guide by fear. Have a plan, stick to it. We have a plan, or at least I have a plan. But hopefully you have a plan, and we will see us then next Sunday. Hopefully next Sunday we will have back news and we can talk about that. So thank you very much. Red Viper, I'm waiting to get Luna for €1. I recommend to take a look mainly for airdrops. Okay, we will see. Never say never. Maybe that happens. Bye bye, guys. Take care.